CDC report that shows women are becoming addicted to painkillers at an alarming rate. Here's NBC's Tom Costello.
Suzette Laufer's addiction to painkillers started with gallbladder surgery, then a broken collarbone. She was prescribed Percocet, but she was soon doctor shopping, trying to get more and more.
So I found a pain management doctor who would prescribe 100 pills. Then I would find another pain management doctor who would prescribe 180 pills.
Her addiction lasted for 25 years. She's hardly alone. The CDC reports more than 6,600 women die each year from prescription drug overdoses. And while more men die of prescription ODs every year, the rate of increase for women has been far more dramatic, up 400% in 10 years.
These are dangerous medications. They need to be reserved for situations where they're really necessary, like severe cancer pain.
Doctors are most concerned about the overuse of opiate painkillers like Demerol, oxycodone, hydrocodone, and Vicodin. Now the CDC is calling on doctors nationwide to consider a patient's dependency risk before ever prescribing painkillers.
Let's talk a little bit about that.
With the help of the Phoenix House Recovery Center, Suzette Laufer is working to get clean.
For me, it's one day at a time. I couldn't do any more.
Fighting a demon she's lived with for a quarter century. For Today, Tom Costello, NBC News, Washington.
Let's get more now with Dr. Nancy Snyderman, NBC's chief medical editor. Nancy, good morning.
Thanks,
good
Savannah.
to see you. You were shocked when you saw a 400% increase
I think
for women.
the whole country was taken by storm, and physicians especially. There's enough blame to go around. Doctors who overprescribe, patients who fake symptoms and know how to game the system. And I think this is a collective responsibility now to say, look, these medications are great medications when used judiciously for the right things, but they are short-term fixes. They're not meant for long-term use.
I've seen a lot of theories about why women in particular may be seeing this increase. One was that they have smaller body mass than men, so maybe the gap between a therapeutic dose and a dangerous dose is narrower.
Well, I think that's one thing, and also we metabolize drugs differently. We know that with alcohol, men can tolerate more, and our liver enzymes can only tolerate as much as we can throw at them. So there probably is a difference, and I think the more we crack the human genome, we're going to find out that some people are more predisposed to addiction and they should be watched more carefully. But in no way are these first-line drugs of choice. It's the standard over the counters. And then if you really have problems, you use them, but never with 3 and 4 and 5 refills. One maybe, but you must come back to see your physician.
You feel like the stigma for some of these prescription painkillers isn't the same as other kinds of drug addiction, and that might also open the door for some people?
Well, look, I think the stigma for being an alcoholic is pretty darn high. And this has almost becomes, mother's little helper, in the 22nd century. Increasingly, it's no longer Valium safe. We now know it's addicting. People moved on to narcotics. We know now that these are addicting. It's a phenomenal wake-up call that women can work just fine in the workplace and go home and take 4 and 5 at night, combine them with anti-anxiety drugs and then alcohol, and that may be the new face of addiction. Do not assume that the soccer mom who's driving your kids after school is clean. This face of addiction is very, very different now.
The sobering report, Nancy.
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much.
You bet.